everyone! Welcome back to Love English Lab, where you learn to speak English naturally, confidently, and with real conversations that feel alive. I'm Megan, and I'm so happy you're here today.
And I'm Charlotte. If you're new to our podcast, don't forget to subscribe so you can keep improving your English with fun, natural dialogues like this one.
Today's topic is one that can really change the way you communicate: how to tell a story in English.
Oh yes, everyone loves stories at work, at school, or even when talking to friends. Storytelling makes conversations interesting and memorable.
Exactly. And the best part is, telling a story isn't just for writers or public speakers. It's something you do every day. When you share what happened to you, describe a funny situation, or talk about your weekend.
Right. But many English learners struggle with that. They start a story and suddenly think, wait, how do I say this in English? Or, am I using the right tense?
Yes, that happens a lot. You want to sound natural, but you start translating in your head, and the flow disappears.
Exactly. But the good news is, storytelling in English doesn't have to be complicated. You just need a simple structure, a few key phrases, and a sense of rhythm.
I love that word, rhythm. A good story has rhythm. It moves naturally from beginning to end, with emotion and variety in your voice.
Yes, and that's something anyone can learn. You don't need perfect grammar to tell a great story. You just need clarity and emotion.
That's so true. Because people don't remember grammar, they remember feelings.
Exactly. If you can make someone laugh, smile, or feel curious, they'll remember what you said.
So in this episode, we'll show you how to tell stories in English that people actually want to listen to.
We'll go step by step: how to start your story, how to describe events naturally, how to use the right tenses, and how to make your story sound real and engaging.
Yes. And we'll also share expressions native speakers use all the time when telling stories. Like, guess what happened? You won't believe this. Or, and then suddenly,
I love those. They make the listener feel part of your story.
exactly. Because storytelling is connection. It's how people bond and understand each other.
So if you want your English to sound more fluent, interesting, and human, this episode is for you.
By the end, you'll be able to tell your own stories in English naturally and confidently. Not just what happened, but how it felt.
Perfect. Ready to get started?
Let's begin. So, Charlotte, before we teach how to tell a story, let's talk about why storytelling is such a powerful skill for English learners.
Yes, I love that. Because storytelling is more than just speaking, it's thinking, connecting, and remembering all at the same time.
Exactly. When you tell a story, you're not just listing facts, you're organizing ideas, using emotion, and expressing what matters to you.
Right? And that's what fluency really means: not speaking fast, but expressing your thoughts clearly and naturally.
I love that definition. Fluency is about flow, not speed.
Totally. And stories help you find that flow. Because when you tell a story, you're focused on the message, not on the grammar.
Yes, you're not thinking, oh no, which tense is this? You're thinking, this is what happened.
Exactly. That's what makes your English sound natural, when your attention is on meaning, not on perfection.
That's such an important point. Many learners freeze when they speak because they're afraid of making mistakes.
Yes. But when you're telling a story, you forget that fear for a moment. You start imagining the situation, the people, the emotions, the sounds.
And suddenly, the words just come out. Even if the grammar isn't perfect, it still sounds alive.
Exactly. Because stories connect emotion with language. And emotion helps memory.
Oh, yes. That's one of my favorite parts of storytelling. You actually remember more English when you use it to tell a story.
Right. It's how our brains work. If you learn a phrase inside a story, your brain keeps it longer because it has meaning and context.
Yes. Like if you just memorize, I woke up late, it's easy to forget. But if you tell a story like, I woke up late because my alarm didn't ring, and I miss my bus, you'll never forget it.
So true. You can even imagine the panic of that moment.
Exactly. And that emotion, that tiny bit of stress, helps your brain remember.
It's amazing how that works. I once read that we remember stories up to 20 times more than facts.
Wow, that doesn't surprise me, because stories are how humans communicate naturally.
Yes, even before writing or grammar rules existed, people used stories to share experiences and teach lessons.
Exactly. And when you tell stories in English, you're doing the same thing, sharing your world, your ideas, and your memories through another language.
That's what makes it so powerful. You stop being just a student and start being a communicator.
I love that word, communicator, because that's what real fluency is about. Connection?
Yes. And here's another reason storytelling helps. It forces you to practice all your English skills at once.
True. When you tell a story, you use grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, rhythm, and emotion all together.
Exactly. It's like the perfect language workout.
Totally. You're training your brain to combine everything at the same time.
And it's fun. You can tell stories about your childhood, your weekend, something funny that happened at work, anything.
Yes, even short stories, like what happened on your way to class, help you practice naturally.
Right? And the more you do it, the more confident you become.
That's true, because the first time, you might struggle to find words, but the second or third time, it flows better.
Yes. That's how real fluency grows, repetition with meaning.
I like that. Repetition with meaning. That's a great way to put it.
Thanks. And another thing I've noticed when learners tell stories, their pronunciation also improves.
Oh, totally. Because when you tell a story, you naturally change your tone and rhythm.
Yes. You go up and down, you pause, you emphasize certain words. That's what makes your speech sound real.
Exactly. You stop sounding robotic and start sounding expressive.
And that's something you can't learn from grammar books. You learn it by telling stories.
So true, because stories teach you the music of English, the way sentences rise and fall, the way emotions change your tone.
Yes. And it's something you can practice every day.
Right. Even if you're alone, you can tell yourself what happened today, or describe something funny you saw.
Yes. Talk to yourself in English, record your voice, and listen back. It's a great exercise.
Exactly. And soon you'll notice that your stories sound smoother, more confident, and more natural.
So, storytelling isn't just a speaking activity, it's a fluency builder.
I love that. Fluency Builder, that's exactly what it is.
So, if you've been struggling to speak English naturally, start by telling small stories about your life.
Yes, start simple. The more you tell, the easier it becomes.
Perfect. And in the next chapter, we'll show you how to do it step by step.
Right. We'll break down how to start your story, how to organize it, and how to make it interesting.
Great. Let's jump into that next. So, Megan, now that we know why storytelling is so powerful, let's talk about how to actually start a story.
Yes, that's one of the hardest parts. Many learners want to tell a story but don't know where to begin.
Exactly. They often start with too many details or forget to set the scene so the listener feels a bit lost.
Right. So here's the first tip. Start simple. Tell your listener when and where your story happened.
Yes. Use expressions like last weekend, a few years ago, when I was a kid, or one time at work.
Those short phrases immediately tell the listener, okay, this is a story.
Exactly. For example, last weekend, something really funny happened to me. That sounds natural, right?
Totally. And you can follow it with a little background like, I went to the park with my friends to play volleyball.
Perfect. So now we have the time, the place, and the situation,
Yes, that's the beginning of every good story. The setup.
right? And then you move to the main part, the action.
Exactly. That's where you describe what happened step by step.
And this is where connectors become super useful. Words like then, after that, suddenly, a few minutes later. or in the end.
Yes, those little words are like bridges between your sentences. They make your story flow smoothly.
For example, we were playing volleyball, and suddenly the ball flew over the fence. Then one of my friends tried to get it back, but
You can already feel the story coming alive.
exactly. And that's what makes people listen, that rhythm of and then.
Right. It keeps the story moving forward.
Another great thing to remember is verb tense.
Yes, that's important. Most stories use the past simple because we talk about things that already happened.
Exactly. Words like went, saw, said, tried, found.
But you can also mix in other tenses for details. For example, use past continuous to describe what was happening in the background.
Right. Like, we were eating lunch when suddenly it started to rain.
Perfect. That structure, past continuous for the background and past simple for the main event, makes your story sound very natural.
Exactly. That's how native speakers do it without even thinking.
And don't forget to add feelings. When you describe what happened, say how you felt.
Yes. Instead of just saying, I missed the bus, say, I missed the bus and I was so frustrated.
That emotion helps your story connect with the listener.
And it also gives you the chance to use more expressive vocabulary.
Exactly. You can say I was embarrassed, excited, nervous, shocked, or relieved.
Yes. Those words bring the story to life.
And here's another important point. Try to use short, clear sentences.
Oh, yes, that's key. Long sentences with too many clauses make you lose your listener.
Right. It's better to speak naturally, like, I was walking home, it was raining. Suddenly a car splashed water all over me.
That's perfect. It's simple, but you can picture it clearly.
Exactly. Storytelling is not about fancy grammar, it's about being clear and real.
That's such good advice. And at the end of your story, always include a small conclusion.
Yes. You can use phrases like, in the end, finally after that, or, so, that's what happened.
Right. It gives your story closure and helps the listener know it's finished.
For example, in the end, I got home soaking wet, but I couldn't stop laughing about it.
That's a great ending. It leaves a feeling, not just information.
Exactly. And that's what makes stories memorable.
You know what else helps? Reactions.
Oh, yes, that's a big one. When you tell a story, react like you really felt it.
Yes. Use your tone, your face, your hands, even in English.
Totally. If something surprised you, say I couldn't believe it, or it was so crazy.
Or if something was funny, say it made me laugh so hard.
Exactly. Those little reactions make your story sound spontaneous and real.
And they help your listener feel what you felt.
Right? Because storytelling isn't just about what happened, it's about how it felt to live it.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
So, to summarize, start with time and place, use simple connectors, describe events step by step, add emotion, and end with a short conclusion.
Yes, that's your basic story structure, beginning, middle, and end.
Perfect. And once you master that, you can start adding details that make your stories unforgettable.
Exactly. And that's what we'll explore in the next chapter, how to make your story interesting from start to finish.
I love it. Let's do it. So, Megan, we already talked about how to start a story and give it structure. Now comes the fun part, how to make it interesting.
Yes, because sometimes people have a good story to tell, but they tell it in such a flat way that nobody listens.
True, and other times the story itself is simple, but the way they tell it makes everyone pay attention.
Exactly. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
So, what's the first secret?
I'd say energy. You need energy in your voice and rhythm in your sentences.
Totally. When you tell a story, imagine you're painting with your words. You want to add color, movement, and feeling.
I love that image. So instead of saying I went to the store and it was busy, you could say I walked into the store and wow, it was packed. People everywhere. Lines so long I almost turned around.
Exactly. That version feels alive. You can see it.
Right? Because you're not just sharing information, you're creating a little movie in the listener's mind.
That's the key: visualization. The more people can imagine your story, the more interested they become.
Yes, and to do that, you can use descriptive details, colors, sounds, emotions, small actions.
For example, instead of "it was raining," say the rain was tapping on the window and the sky looked gray and heavy.
Beautiful. That kind of detail makes people feel like they're there with you.
Exactly. And here's another way to make a story more engaging: include a bit of suspense.
Oh, yes, that's so effective. You don't have to be dramatic, just create curiosity.
Right. You can use phrases like, "You won't believe what happened next," "Guess what I saw," or "Then suddenly."
Those little expressions make people lean in and listen.
Totally. They make your story sound natural, like real conversation.
And another thing that helps is using dialogue.
Oh, absolutely. Dialogue brings stories to life. Instead of just saying, "My friend told me I was late," you can say, "My friend looked at me and said, 'You're always late.'"
Yes, when you use real dialogue, even short lines, it makes the story dynamic.
And it also helps you practice pronunciation and intonation.
True, because dialogue lets you play with your voice. Angry, surprised, excited, calm, and that makes your English more expressive.
Exactly. And here's something else: emotion.
Yes, emotion changes everything. If you felt nervous, say it. If you were happy, show it in your tone.
Right? Don't just say "I was happy." Say "I couldn't stop smiling."
Oh, that's perfect. Or instead of I was scared, say, my heart was racing and I couldn't move.
Yes, that sounds so much stronger.
And learners don't have to make it complicated. Even small emotional details make a big difference.
Exactly. You can say things like, "I felt embarrassed," "I was shocked," "I didn't know what to do," or "I started laughing so hard."
Right, that's the real language of storytelling, showing feelings, not just facts.
Yes. And if you want to keep your listeners' attention, change the rhythm.
Oh, I love this part. You can make your story faster when something exciting happens, and slower when you want to build suspense.
Exactly. It's like music. You don't want to stay at one speed the whole time.
Yes, if everything sounds the same, your listener's brain goes to sleep.
That's true. Variety keeps it alive.
And you can use pauses too. Just stopping for a second after something important makes people pay attention.
Yes. Like when you say, "And then, guess what happened?" Pause, and then continue.
Exactly. That's what keeps listeners curious.
And one more thing: be yourself.
Oh, yes, that's so important. Don't try to sound perfect or formal. Just speak like you would with a friend.
Right? If you make a small mistake, don't stop. Keep going.
Exactly. Because people don't care about your mistakes, they care about your story.
Yes. And sometimes your small mistakes even make you sound more natural.
Totally. It's better to sound real than robotic.
So, to sum up: energy, emotion, details, dialogue, rhythm, and authenticity.
Yes, those are the 6 ingredients of a great story.
And if you practice them, your stories will sound natural, expressive, and memorable.
Exactly. You'll be able to share experiences in English that people actually enjoy listening to.
Perfect. So now that we know how to make stories interesting, what's next?
Next, we'll talk about how to choose the right vocabulary and expressions when telling your story.
Oh yes, that's a big one, because using the right words helps your story sound smooth and natural.
Definitely. Let's explore that in the next chapter. So, Charlotte, now that we know how to make a story interesting, let's talk about something that makes a huge difference: the words you choose.
Yes, because even a good story can sound strange if you use words that don't fit the situation.
Exactly. The secret is not about using difficult vocabulary, but using natural expressions, the kind people actually use every day.
Totally. Many learners focus on fancy words, but real English is all about clarity and tone.
Yes, you don't need big words. You need the right words.
So, let's go over some expressions that help your story flow naturally.
Great! Let's start with how to begin a story. Instead of just saying, I want to tell you something, you can use, You won't believe what happened to me yesterday. Guess what? Something crazy happened. This is so funny. Listen to this.
Yes, those sound so real and friendly. It's like you're inviting the listener into your story,
Exactly. And that's the goal. Make your listener curious.
right? Now, what about transitions? Many learners forget to connect their sentences, so their stories sound like a list.
True. That's where linking words or sequence phrases help a lot.
Yes, like first, then, after that, suddenly, a moment later, finally.
Right. You can also use in the beginning, meanwhile, in the end, out of nowhere, or before I knew it.
Oh, I love out of nowhere. It adds a bit of surprise. Like, out of nowhere, a dog started chasing me.
Yes, it's so natural. And before I knew it means something happened quickly. For example, before I knew it, the bus had already left.
Perfect. Those phrases make your story sound like real conversation, not a school exercise.
Exactly. And another tip, use verbs that show action or feeling.
Yes. Instead of saying I went to the park and it was good, say I walked to the park and it felt amazing to breathe the fresh air.
Beautiful. That one simple change paints a picture.
And it makes your story sound emotional and visual at the same time.
Right. You can also use verbs that describe reactions, like laughed, gasped, shouted, whispered, smiled, or froze.
Yes. For example, I froze when I saw the snake, or she whispered, "Don't move."
Those small details make people imagine what's happening.
Exactly. And you can also use short phrases that express your thoughts or feelings.
Oh, yes, like I couldn't believe it. It scared me so much. I was so embarrassed it made my day. It was such a relief.
Yes, that's how native speakers sound, emotional but simple.
And another thing that makes your story real is using expressions of time naturally.
True. Many learners use then too much. It's good, but there are so many other options.
Right. You can say at that moment, a few seconds later, the next morning, by the time we arrived, after a while.
Exactly. Variety keeps your story from sounding repetitive.
Yes. And if you want to describe something surprising, you can use suddenly, all of a sudden, or to my surprise.
I love to my surprise. For example, to my surprise, the teacher actually laughed.
That's great. And to describe results, use so, that's why, or as a result.
Right. I missed the bus, so I had to walk home. Simple, natural, and clear.
Exactly. Storytelling is all about connection. You want your listener to follow your ideas easily.
Yes. And another great trick is using adverbs of feeling or reaction, like honestly, luckily, unfortunately, surprisingly, obviously.
Oh, yes. Honestly, I thought I was lost. Or luckily, someone helped me find my way.
Those little words show your attitude and help your listener understand how you felt.
Exactly. And one more important thing, keep your sentences conversational.
Totally. If your story sounds like a written essay, it loses energy.
Yes, you can use contractions like we're in short sentences that sound natural.
For example, instead of I was very surprised when the teacher gave us more homework, say I couldn't believe it, more homework.
That's so much better. It sounds real, like you're actually talking to someone.
Exactly. Because storytelling is not about perfection, it's about connection and clarity.
I totally agree. The best stories sound like conversations, not performances.
Yes. So when you choose your words, focus on three things: clarity, emotion, and rhythm.
That's perfect. Clarity helps people understand, emotion makes them care, and rhythm keeps them listening.
Exactly. And when you combine those three, your English starts sounding fluent and alive.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
So, in the next chapter, we'll show how to practice storytelling with simple exercises you can do on your own to become a confident storyteller in English.
I love it. Let's dive into that next. So, Megan, now that we know how to tell a good story, here's the question most learners have: how do I actually practice this?
Yes, that's such an important question, because knowing how to tell a story is one thing, but being able to do it naturally is another.
Exactly. And the good news is, anyone can train this skill. It's like learning to play an instrument. You just need consistency.
Yes, storytelling is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Totally. And the first step is something simple. Start telling mini stories about your day.
Oh, I love that. Every day gives you a story, even if it's small.
Yes. You can say things like, "This morning, something funny happened on my way to work," or "Yesterday, I saw something that made me smile."
Exactly. It doesn't have to be dramatic, just real. The goal is to describe events in English instead of thinking about them in your language,
Yes, that's how you train your brain to think in English.
right? Because when you describe daily experiences, you connect English with your real life, and that makes it stick.
Exactly. And if you're not sure how to start, use a simple structure: beginning, middle, and end.
Yes. For example, first, I missed the bus. Then, I met my friend by accident. In the end, we went for coffee. That's already a story.
I love that example. It's short, but complete.
Yes. And you can practice it every day. Maybe record yourself and listen back.
That's a great idea. Recording yourself helps you hear your pronunciation and rhythm.
Exactly. And don't worry if you sound strange at first. Everyone does.
True. The important thing is to hear your progress.
Yes. And once you feel comfortable with small stories, you can move to longer ones. Maybe something from your past.
Like a funny memory, a family trip, or an embarrassing moment.
Oh, yes, those are always fun to tell.
Totally. Because when you tell personal stories, you connect emotions to your words.
Exactly. And emotion helps memory and fluency.
Another great practice is to use prompts.
Oh, yes, I love prompts.
For example, you can write short questions like, "What made you laugh recently?" "When was the last time you felt proud?" Or "What's something surprising that happened this month?"
Yes, you pick one question a day and tell a short story about it.
Right? You can speak out loud, or even write it first and then say it aloud.
That's a great point. Writing your story helps you organize your thoughts.
Exactly. You can start by writing, then practice speaking without reading.
Yes, and over time, your stories will sound smoother and more natural.
Another idea is to shadow stories from movies or podcasts.
Oh, yes, you listen to a story in English and repeat it with the same rhythm and emotion.
Right? It helps you feel the natural flow of English storytelling.
Exactly, and it also helps you learn real expressions that native speakers use.
Yes, like, "And guess what happened next?" Or, "It was unbelievable."
Those little phrases make your storytelling sound fluent and authentic.
And here's another tip: tell your stories to different people.
Oh, yes, that's a great exercise. When you tell the same story to 2 or 3 people, you automatically improve it each time.
Exactly. You start finding better words, smoother transitions, and better timing.
Yes, you notice what parts make people laugh or when they lose interest, and you adjust naturally.
That's how storytellers get better, through repetition and small improvements.
And the best part? You don't even need a teacher for this. You can do it with friends, family, or even online.
True. You can join English conversation groups, language exchanges, or online communities where people share stories.
Exactly. And even if you're shy, you can start by recording stories privately.
Yes, the goal isn't perfection, it's practice and progress.
Totally. Every time you tell a story, your confidence grows.
And your English becomes more automatic.
That's the magic part. When you stop thinking about English and start feeling it.
I love that. Feeling English, that's when you know you're becoming fluent.
Exactly. Because fluency isn't memorizing words, it's being able to express your world naturally.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
So to summarize, Tell small stories every day, record yourself, use prompts, shadow other storytellers, and repeat your stories often.
Yes, those 5 habits will completely change the way you speak English.
Exactly. And once storytelling becomes part of your daily routine, you'll notice how your confidence grows faster than ever.
I totally agree. So, in our final reflection, let's remind our listeners why storytelling isn't just a speaking skill, it's a way to connect, grow, and think in English.
Perfect. Let's wrap it up.
So, Charlotte, after everything we've talked about structure, emotion, vocabulary, and practice I think we can both agree on one thing storytelling is more than a language skill.
Absolutely. It's really about connection. When you tell a story in English, you're not just showing grammar or vocabulary, you're sharing a piece of yourself.
Yes, you invite someone into your world. You make them feel something, maybe laughter, curiosity, or even empathy.
And that's what makes language powerful. It's not just about speaking correctly, it's about communicating feelings and ideas in a way that reaches people.
Exactly. Many learners worry about mistakes, but in storytelling, small mistakes don't matter. What matters is emotion, rhythm, and honesty.
I couldn't agree more. When people listen to a story that feels real, they forget about your accent or grammar, they just listen to you.
Yes, and that's when you know you're becoming fluent. When people stop focusing on how you speak and start focusing on what you're saying.
Right? Storytelling helps you reach that point faster because it trains you to think in complete ideas, not single words.
Exactly. You stop translating in your head and you start thinking directly in English.
And that's the best feeling, when your thoughts flow in English naturally.
Yes, and that happens when you practice speaking through real experiences, not memorized dialogues.
Totally. Because every time you tell a story about your life, something funny, embarrassing, or even small, you make English personal.
And personal English is memorable English.
I love that. Personal English is memorable English. That's exactly it.
Thank you. It's true, though. We remember what we feel, not what we just study.
Yes. So the next time our listeners learn a new word or grammar rule, they can use it inside a story, their own story.
Exactly. Because when you say something like, I woke up late, ran out the door, and missed my bus, you're not just practicing verbs, you're practicing real life.
That's what makes storytelling so powerful. It helps you live English instead of just learning it.
Beautifully said.
Thanks. But it's true. When you tell stories, you start to understand that fluency isn't about speed. It's about comfort, emotion, and connection.
Yes, you speak English with confidence because it becomes your language, not just something you study.
Exactly. So, to everyone listening, start small. Tell short stories every day, even to yourself.
Yes, talk about what you did, what you saw, or what you learned.
And don't worry about being perfect. Focus on being real.
Because every story you tell brings you closer to natural fluency.
Exactly. Storytelling is how you turn English into something alive, something that belongs to you.
I love that.
Me too.
Thank you so much for listening to us today.
We hope this episode inspires you to share more of yourself in English, one story at a time.
Remember, your stories matter. They're not just practice, they're connection.
And that's the real meaning of fluency.
Keep speaking, keep sharing, and keep growing.
And we'll be here to help you every step of the way.
Until next time, keep telling your stories.
And keep making English your story.